Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. Last night on 60 Minutes, former Treasury Secretary Paul O'Neill slammed the president for being disengaged. Our first guest will have some comments on that for sure, and he's got the rundown.
Sam, where does Senator John Ensign stand on the president's proposal on immigration reform? And what about this trip to Mars? Sam?
And coming up on the Power Pundit panel today, Chris Wicker, Dick Gammick, and John Gwaltney. It's all coming up next on the all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
Nevada Newsmakers, brought to you in part by Charter Communication.
The Abowed family has an appetite for dialogue. Agree or disagree, have the conversation. All opinions are welcome. Since 1977, Adele's.
Catch us straight, dine at 8. Lucky you. Lucky you. Dance till 1. Have some fun. Lucky you. Lucky you. Taste the shrimp. Have a sip. Try the pool. Play it cool. At the Sienna Hotel Spa Casino. Lucky you. Yeah!
In business, the key to success is not the quantity of your clients, it's the quality of your clients. Almost all companies will tell you they want more sales, but what they really need are quality customers who pay their bills on time. With Employer Link's client vendor screening program, we provide comprehensive reports regarding the financial performance of your corporate prospects, customers, and vendors. Build your business with great clients and vendors. Call Employer Links today at 883-3733.
If you own a business and want to maximize your company's potential, join the Retail Association of Nevada. Our membership benefits include the Nevada Retail Network Self-Insured Group, providing workers' compensation coverage that can lower your rates. That savings can go directly to your bottom line. We are an effective pro-business organization that lobbies on behalf of our business members. The Retail Association of Nevada, protecting Nevada businesses for 35 years. Call 882-1700 to see what we can do for your organization.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad, political analyst Ande Engleman on No Holds Barred Political Forum. Now, from the News 4 Broadcast Center, here's Sam Shad.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, it's always a pleasure to welcome to our desk here United States Senator John Ensign. Welcome, Senator.
Thank you so much for being with us.
Last night on 60 Minutes, Paul O'Neill, the former Treasury Secretary, accused President Bush of being disengaged, of listening but not being involved in discussions on everything, but especially in financial areas. Is that a view that you share or agree with?
I thought it was pretty shocking. Based on President Bush's reputation, he is in complete control in those meetings. And you ask anybody who's ever been in a meeting with him, and there is nothing disengaged about this president. And I think that that's why his aides have come out in defense of how he is as a president. He's a leader. There's no question about it. He sits back, he surrounds himself with good people, as leaders should do. He listens to them, but there's no question who the president is in those meetings, who the leader is in those meetings.
Why do you think that Mr. O'Neill was such a large contributor to this current book that's come out?
Well, first of all, anytime you can get somebody to, create some controversy, people like, that sells. And, I don't care what White House it was, whether it's the Clinton White House or this White House, there's always people looking to make a little money off of it. And Paul O'Neill really never was part of the inside group in the White House. He never had a good reputation. I mean, when he came up to sell the tax cuts on Capitol Hill, he said that they wouldn't hurt. I mean, he was never really
No, he
in
was certainly
favor
not
of
a
them.
proponent.
He was not
But
in
he
favor.
did not get paid for this, Senator. He didn't make any money off of this.
I wasn't saying he was making money, but the people selling the book, they love that type of a controversy. I'm not questioning his motives. I just don't think that he was in the inner circle enough to know some of the things that he's talking about. That was his perception from an outside.
Do you think this is going to hurt President Bush in his re-election
not at all.
efforts?
Not at all. There's no question. He's a great leader.
Well, and I don't disagree with you. I think that this is way too far out, unless we suddenly had other former members of the cabinet starting to say things that were similar.
Well, this is highly unusual. Never before has a former member of a cabinet come out and criticize a sitting president during his term of office. It's happened sometimes after they've left office, but never. This is a first. It's never happened like this before. Senator, I'm concerned about the president's proposal on immigration reform. I'm using the right terms. I'm not saying he's giving amnesty to illegal aliens, but you know, my family came over legally, as did most everybody else's family. It seems like we're rewarding these people for breaking the law.
Well, I think what the president is doing is recognizing the reality that we have in this country. We have somewhere between 9 million, 13 million undocumented, illegal, however you want to describe the workers that are here. And the problem is that, you know, we talk about the borders and this massive illegal immigration coming in from our borders. And if we had a good guest worker program, a lot of the people that are here would be here temporarily if we had a good guest worker program, and then they would go back. Mexico, actually, to use an example, Mexico, where the largest number of them come from, needs those workers during certain times of the year. But because it's so dangerous to cross the border, they won't go back home. Well, they're here anyway, and we're trapping them here because of our current laws. If we had a good guest worker program, they could actually go back to Mexico, benefit the Mexican economy, which then gives less incentive for other people to come here illegally. So in the long run, I think it could actually solve a lot of the illegal immigration problems.
All right, first of all, with all this money going to Mexico, what happens to our gold? What happens to the balance of gold? I mean, we're seeing more of our money going out of the country than coming into the country.
Well, we have huge amounts of money from all over the world that always come to the United States because this is still the safest place in the world to invest. So Americans, though, invest overseas. That create jobs. The reason that America has the strongest economy in the world is because we have the freest, most open economy in the world. Any economies that try to do protectionism, that just try to protect the jobs that we have here, I mean, that always sounds good, but when you try to do that, that's what led to the Depression. And so we have to be very careful when we're having policies. Free, open trade benefits American workers. As long as it's fair, American workers can outcompete any workers in the world.
All right, but let's say that we have people who do go into this program, and after 3 years they say, hey, my children are here, and I'm here, and my children were born here, I'm not leaving.
Well, they're not leaving now. That's the current reality. They're not leaving now.
So we are talking about an amnesty program.
We are talking about something that actually allows people, first of all, it improves Homeland Security because you can track more people. You can track whether they are actually here legally or not. You can track whether people are overstaying their visas or not, where they are. I think you actually can put more controls on our immigration policy with what the president has proposed than we currently have. The current system, everybody admits, is broken. Right. And while this is, I don't agree with all of what the president has put forward. Some of the things that he's put forward, I actually think can help the current situation.
So apparently, Andy, my thoughts are not necessarily liberal on this issue because a very conservative senator is sitting on the other side here and has pretty much made all of my arguments. We'll take a break. Boy, I feel good this morning. We'll be right back after this timeout.
Atlantis is cooking up a party. It's every diner's paradise. Toucan Charlie's Buffet and Grill, voted Reno's best buffet by locals year after year. Experience the Mongolian barbecue, new Asian station, and sumptuous exhibition stations filled with fresh entrees, salads, and desserts. Try the Friday night seafood buffet and Sunday champagne brunch.
Atlantis.
Would you like to savor a Trento pork chop? Or maybe pasta rags with grilled chicken? Hugo's Tuscan Grill at D'Andrea is a celebration of color, flavor, and freshness. Each dish is created from natural, wholesome foods that is delicious and nutritious. Hugo's is a comfortable restaurant with breathtaking city views. If you enjoy great food and good company, visit us here at Hugo's. It's the best that dining can be. 2900 South D'Andrea Parkway in Sparks.
I ordered this beef broccoli here at Harris Buffet in Reno, and it was here in less than 60 seconds. What's up with that, Dave?
Sam, that's one of 20 dishes that we guarantee fast, guarantee fresh, made to order 7 days a week at Harris Reno's Buffet.
And I understand that just for this month, a 2-for-1 special just by showing your Nevada ID.
That's correct. We want to invite all of our Nevada residents to come down and experience this great buffet. We guarantee you a fresh, quality meal.
It's fast, it's delicious, and it's 2-for-1 at Harris Buffet.
To experience the royal cuisine of India, you need some serious magic or simply transport yourself to India Garden, right here in Reno, where you'll discover Indian specialties refined over centuries. Sikh kebab, tandoori dishes cooked in our own tandoor oven, biryani specialties, curries, fresh-baked Indian bread, over a dozen vegetarian dishes, even dishes rare to India like dosa, South Indian-style crepes. India Garden off South Virginia near Sports West. We are India.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad and Ande Engleman.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we're here with United States Senator John Ensign, our representative from Nevada.
I'll let you make, you had a last point that you wanted to make.
Well, when I was down in Mexico about 2 years ago visiting with Vicente Fox, and many of the other people, I was down there with the Foreign Relations Committee, and one of the big issues between Mexico and the United States is the drug trade. We get a little bit of cooperation from Mexico, but not a lot. And I believe that the Bush proposal can go a long way on helping us with combating illegal drugs coming into this country. I think that this is such a big issue to the Mexican government that they will be much more cooperative in the future with us on the drug trade. And I think that that's one of the most important aspects of what President Bush has proposed.
And I think the most important thing that you've said here is that this is a problem that is occurring right now. It has been occurring for years, and we keep putting little Band-Aids on it every 10 or 15 years, but we really need to put resources into the Immigration Department and
enforce our laws.
Well, absolutely. But at this point,
we have put resources in. We have increased border security. We've done all the things that people said to do. None of it's worked. None of it has decreased illegal immigration. None of it has.
Because the bottom line is that
there's
this
too
is
much
a magnet.
There's too much incentive. I mean, if you have two countries sitting next to each other where they can't earn enough money to feed their families in one country, and the other country promises that, you know, basically economic security for the family, where are they going to go?
And
I mean,
if you care about your family, to take care of their family as well.
And there goes our gold balance.
Let's change the subject here. Headline in the Las Vegas Review-Journal last month: Ensign survives harrowing day in Iraq. Tell us about it, would you please?
Truly one of the most remarkable days of my life. I wouldn't say Ensign survives. I mean, I thought, you know, that's a headline in the news because the people that are there, the Americans that are there, are doing this every single day. It is a very dangerous place that the men and women in uniform and the civilians, Americans who are there and civilians, they're taking risks every single day.
Why did you go?
And I went there. I'm on the Armed Services Committee. I went there to visit the troops, see for myself what is going on. I'm the chairman of the Readiness Subcommittee, and so there's a lot of issues dealing with readiness that I think you don't just read, you don't read about them. You need to see them for yourselves. So, what is our training? A big part of readiness is about training. Is our training actually adequate? And there are some problems that we're finding that our military is not up to what it should be up to. For instance, we don't have a lot of the specialist trained military police and other technical people. We don't have enough of them in our military. That's been pointed out in a large degree by what's happened in Iraq. So we can take away some of that. But I also went there to say thank you to our troops, to show them that we as elected representatives in the United States really appreciate the jobs that they're doing. And when you're there for the day, and seeing what they're going through, meeting with some of the Iraqis, and seeing the risks that our men and women are taking to win the hearts and the minds of the Iraqi people, it makes you incredibly proud to be an American. They're extraordinary people.
Were you in any danger?
Oh, absolutely. It's first of all, I was there when Saddam Hussein. I got there the next morning. They hadn't announced it to the world when he was captured. I flew from Baghdad to Tikrit on a Black Hawk helicopter, one of the ones that was just shot down. You can see why they are vulnerable, because you fly 50 feet off the ground and you're flying over the Baghdad like this in the countryside, and you fly that low so that missiles, it's harder for them to pick up. But when I was there was a lot of celebratory gunfire going off. When Saddam's captured, they're cranking off the guns into the air. Well, when you're 50 feet off the ground and this thing's happening all over the city, when we were coming back at night, you could really see it with the night vision goggles. You could see this tracer gunfire just kind of going off everywhere. And so, I guess it was partway dangerous. The C-130, there was just one of those that was hit by a missile. When I was taken off, they have a radar detection system. If something's fired at it, it throws off the flares. Well, 10 seconds after takeoff, our flares went off. This thing lit up like the 4th of July, and you hear this boom, 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 boom along the side of the airplane. And when we got up to a sufficient altitude, I went up and asked the crew, I said, what happened back there? And they said that it detected that something was fired at the plane. And so it apparently worked, since obviously I'm here.
You're here and you're in one piece.
Yeah, and if I could, we're running out of time, and I want to ask you a couple of political questions, if I could. First of all, the president's proposal to put more money, here we're running a big deficit, to put more money into space travel. Are you going to support that, or are you going to look for some limitations?
Well, I think that we've got to justify everything that we're doing. The science, for instance, the space station. The space station, I'm a big believer in pushing the envelope and everything, but when we did it in cooperation with the Russians haven't paid their bills. We dumbed down the science to cooperate with them, and the space station can barely do anything more than what the old space lab was able to do from a scientific standpoint. So we're really not benefiting from this, and you have to weigh the cost versus what you're going to get out of it. And so I guess this would be one of those proposals that I'm going to look at very, very cautiously before willing to support it, but I certainly lean against supporting something like that.
Well, and the reality is that the PR value of sending men and women to the moon or to Mars would be huge, but the reality is that with our technology, we don't need to do that. We can send robots.
Yeah, and very quickly, one last question. Sarah Ralston used to work for you. Her husband, John, has predicted that you ultimately will end up running for governor.
I don't know why. John is completely obsessed with this, I think. I keep hearing him talk about it. I get calls all the time. You're going to run for governor? I've told people I'm not going to run for governor. I have no plans to run for governor. You should never say never to anything. But I am 99% sure that I'm going to run for re-election for the United States Senate. I love being a senator. I'm having a ball there. Harry Reid and I work great together. We really enjoy each other's relationship. I enjoy representing the people of the state of Nevada in the Senate. Hopefully people think I'm doing a good job. I'm certainly working my rear end off back there.
One last very quick question,
as well.
Really easy one. Are you going to support Harry Reid in his re-election?
I will support the Republican candidate, just like Harry would support a Democrat candidate against myself.
Even if it's Richard Zeiser?
I will support a Republican candidate, and I'll let however the primary turns out, I'll support the Republican candidate.
You're welcome here anytime, Senator.
Thank
Always
you.
A pleasure. We'll be right back on Nevada Newsmakers after this.
Very nice.
Before you head to Carson, take care of yourself with a visit to Tamarack Junction. Catch a hot cup of coffee and the morning news on one of our 32 TVs and enjoy the best food in South Reno. Tamarack Junction, your junction for fun. South Virginia and Amati Ranch Parkway.
The Abowd family has an appetite for dialogue. Agree or disagree, have the conversation. All opinions are welcome. Since 1977, Adele's.
Your home is an expression of all things comforting and familiar. For custom storage, you can count on California Closets to provide quality, value, and design integrity. The process is easy, combining your personal style with our organizing expertise. We care about what matters most to you, making your home functional and beautiful. California Closets, simplifying home and life since 1978. Call today for your complimentary design consultation.
When you sign up for Wells Fargo free checking, you get more than free checking. You get the freedom to bank when and where you want. Wells Fargo, the next stage.
Make your daily commute easy with breakfast or lunch at the Tamarack Junction. Enjoy daily specials, super fast service, and South Reno's freshest morning meals. Tamarack Junction, your junction for fun. South Virginia and Amati Ranch Parkway.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad and Ande Engleman.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, great pundit panel today. As always, Chris Wicker is here. He's the chairman of the Washoe County Democratic Party. We have John Gwaltney here. Hello. And Dick Gammick, who is, of course, our Washoe County DA. Let's start out with Paul O'Neill claiming that the president is disengaged here. Do you agree with that, or do you disagree?
You know, that's really an unprecedented situation where, you know, during the sitting president, the former cabinet member has gone on the air and so harshly critical. And I watched that 60 Minutes interview, and you know, I think for some of us who think we know more about Bush than others, I absolutely believe him. There's no reason for him to lie here. For him to say that they go to the cabinet meetings and Bush appears disengaged fits with his personality. Even people that like Bush say he's a notably incurious kind of fellow. And you look at his history where he had all the advantages. The only country he went to before he became president was Mexico. But this is not a curious guy.
You know, Dick, President Reagan was also somebody who was not necessarily involved in the middle of policy. He set the tone of the administration, but surrounded himself with great advisors. Is this a problem?
This sounds to me like a style. You know, it's amazing. I listen day after day after day after day. President Bush is rotten. He's no good. He's the worst president we've ever had. He's got the highest rating we have in the country. Things are going better now than they've gone in several years in a lot of different directions. What's he doing right? I mean, I'd like to ask all these critics, what's the man doing right? He's got to be doing something right. To have
I don't know what world Dick is living in to say things are going better than a few years ago. Because if you look at jobs, no jobs are being created. No jobs are being created. Corporations are making money.
That's all.
No jobs are being created.
That's all.
I'm in the middle here. I have to agree.
And by the way, he is the worst president we've had since Herbert Hoover.
Well, that's your view, Chris, and that is not true.
Now, I agree that he had some difficulties, and I certainly agree that being disengaged is probably not a good idea if you're running the United States. But a style of management. He is certainly not the first president who has been unattentive in cabinet meetings. Cabinet meetings are symbolic events. They are not really very important to government, frankly. The fact of the matter is,
excuse me, where do you get that from, John? Based on what?
If you actually look at Democrats and Republicans, very few cabinet meetings take place. Most of the people who are cabinet officers are more disengaged than the president is. They run large bureaucratic operations. They come from their own political...
So are you saying that it's really the staff who's running the country?
I'm saying that the president's staff is much more influential in policy development and activities than the cabinet is.
Yeah, I think the president sets the tone, but he doesn't govern the country. He sets a tone is all he does. But the more indicting thing that Paul O'Neill said was that the president, the minute he took office, was already planning to invade Iraq. And he just had to wait till 9/11 happened so he could get the American people behind it.
But that's not
he comes
shock,
up with excuses.
Though, Chris,
it's not a shock to me.
By the way, let's also mention that President Carter did not get reelected because he was so involved in the policy issues. He was so involved in the nuts and bolts that he was not able to project a leadership image. Maybe if you want to get reelected, you have to project more of a leadership image.
A sure sign of insecurity is mini management. Let me just throw that out there.
Can we say that about the Board of Regents?
This president, I won't get into the Board of Regents. I
want to change subjects here, if I may. The passing this weekend of Myron Leavitt, Supreme Court Justice. I'd like to get all of your thoughts on Justice Leavitt, because he went through a lot of changes over the years, served in a lot of different offices, and just some thoughts. Chris, you want to start out?
Yeah, I think it's sad to see somebody like that go, because that's somebody that gave a lot of his life to public service. And for the most part, I think public service is fairly thankless. And when people, run for the legislature, become judges, they're serving the public interest. And whether I disagree with them or not, they're still contributing to the public service, and people have to do that, or we're dead in the water.
John, we're running short on time.
I totally agree with that. You're running short on time. However, I think this is symbolic of the passing of traditional Nevada, in a sense. We're changing very dramatically.
It's a shame whenever you lose somebody like Justice Leavitt. He was sure controversial in a lot of different ways. When he got to the Supreme Court, he quieted down a lot.
Surprisingly so.
There's some things I've been critical of the Supreme Court, some direction they've been taking, but all in all, Justice Leavitt made some very, very good rulings within the court, and you hate to see something like that happen. The challenge is going to be now to see who the commission recommends, who the governor appoints, because whoever it is this time has to run November for the seat. So
unless they don't want to run, unless they're just going to keep the seat warm until the election's over.
Considering, it's almost February now, and the election's in November, it's not very long to keep that seat warm.
Well, and what I was impressed by with Justice Leavitt, and I'd interviewed him many times over the years, was his ability to look at the changes in society and to go along with them. He didn't necessarily agree with all the changes, but from a legal point of view, he certainly understood them. We'll take a break. We'll be right back on Newsmakers. It's America's largest historical district, and it's fun for the entire family. Virginia City is where the West comes alive every day, from train rides to gunslingers. Your gang can explore mines and interesting museums, visit historic saloons, and do some great shopping. Virginia City is the ultimate in family entertainment, and it's very affordable. Come up and stay overnight in our hotels, motels, and RV park. Virginia City, the Wild West at its best. I ordered this beef broccoli here at Harris Buffet in Reno, and it was here in less than 60 seconds. What's up with that, Dave?
Sam, that's one of 20 dishes that we guarantee fast, guarantee fresh, made to order 7 days a week at Harris Reno's Buffet.
And I understand that just for this month, a 2-for-1 special just by showing your Nevada ID.
That's correct. We want to invite all of our Nevada residents to come down and experience this great buffet. We guarantee you a fresh, quality meal.
It's fast, it's delicious, and it's 2-for-1 at Harris Buffet.
Atlantis is cooking up a party. It's every diner's paradise. Toucan Charlie's Buffet and Grill, voted Reno's best buffet by locals year after year. Experience the Mongolian barbecue, new Asian station, and sumptuous exhibition stations filled with fresh entrees, salads, and desserts. Try the Friday night seafood buffet and Sunday champagne brunch.
Atlantis.
When you sign up for Wells Fargo free checking, you get more than free checking. You get the freedom to bank when and where you want. Wells Fargo, the next stage.
Nevada Newsmakers, brought to you in part by Charter Communication.
Justice Leavitt had 11 children, 2 of whom live in Reno, and our sympathies are with them.
Indeed. And coming up on the show tomorrow, Judge Jim Hardesty will be here, and Senator Valerie Weiner. Are we getting too fat? She'll want to discuss it.
Speak for yourself.